Music has such an extraordinary power in the way it brings people together. It's a universal language, literally around the world, that we can all understand. And we're so excited that all of you tonight, as you're waiting for this incredible duo to come out here, to sharing the stage for a few minutes to talk about the power and vision of an extraordinary leader and an extraordinary musician. The International Music Camp is such a unique program. You all know that. It provides educational opportunities for young musicians from around the world. For more than 60 years, performers at the International Music Camp have spent their summers developing not only their talents, but also building lasting relationships and friendships. And as I said, now 140,000 students have walked through these doors and performed in these halls and on this stage and at the border. It's broadened the programs that included education and dance and creative writing and painting and drawing and theater and other fine arts disciplines. But this tremendous success grew from one individual, the original and tireless vision of Dr. Merton Utgaard. He founded the International Music Camp in 1956, and he served as the camp's director for 28 years, beginning in 1960. Like myself, he grew up in a small town, Attic, North Dakota, less than 2 hours away from here, south of here. And we're here this weekend celebrating the 90th anniversary of the International Peace Garden. Why does that matter to the International Music Camp? It matters because in 1932, when the idea of a park, which was also audacious, a peace park on a border between two countries, had never been done. It was the longest unguarded border in the world, and I think all of us understand today how important borders are, how important neighbors are, that treat borders like neighbors, as opposed to borders that have wars. But this idea of the peace garden, Merton Utgaard wasn't a PhD musician then. He was a Boy Scout from Attic, and he attended the opening groundbreaking in 1932 of the International Peace Garden as a young man. And that vision stayed with him. Over 50,000 people showed up for that original groundbreaking. Check out the historic photos. It's cars and buggies, and people walked as far as you could see and came to that. But then 23 years later, after he was a Boy Scout, and 23 years after he was at that original groundbreaking for the Peace Garden, he said, hey, music camps have taught so much to so many. He'd had an opportunity to work in other states on them. And he said to himself, it seems like the border of the US and Canada and these beautiful mountains and woods and the Turtle Mountains would seem like a natural location for a summer music camp. After a year of planning and recruiting and investing his own money, the first session of the International Music Camp began on July 1, 1956. Attendees from North Dakota, Indiana, Manitoba, Minnesota, Montana, South Dakota, and Saskatchewan. And with a pioneering spirit that's shared by so many North Dakotans, Dr. Utgaard pursued his dream of creating a music camp. He ignored the dire warnings. Can you imagine starting this out here in those days? No internet, no cell phones, roads weren't in the condition they were today. Where were the musicians? Small rural state in the rural part of Manitoba. He ignored all these dire warnings that the camp would fail. It would fail to garner interest. Who would come to the camp? Who would teach at the camp? He ignored all that and he kept charging ahead. Everybody said, the naysayers said, it's too remote of a location, it's not going to work. But of course, with the support and assistance of his amazing wife, Noella, herself, a legendary figure at the camp, and colleagues from several of the North Dakota universities, particularly the University of North Dakota, the first session was a great success, and the camp grew quickly. Under Dr. Utgaard's guidance, the International Music Camp blossomed into an internationally recognized Center for Education and Performance. It even earned the praise and recognition of Queen Elizabeth II. The camp grew to include a tour band, winning awards at the World Music Contest in 1966 and the International Youth Festival in 1970, both in the Netherlands. In 1976, Dr. Utgaard conducted the International Music Camp tour band at the Kennedy Center's Bicentennial Parade of American Music. Representing the state of North Dakota, they performed a full concert of music that was written by North Dakota composers. And in 1989, Dr. Utgaard organized and conducted the North Dakota Centennial Band, which toured the state celebrating our 100th anniversary of statehood. Helping to chair that in 1989 was my own mother, Catherine Burgum. She was a huge fan of Dr. Utgaard and believed deeply in this. So much that I have to credit my mother with the reason why I ended up at camp. It was the summer of 1971 after my freshman year in high school, and I desperately wanted to go to a football camp. My father had passed away 6 months earlier, and my mom said, sure, you can go to football camp. You just have to go to music camp first. That's how I ended up here. But it was a fantastic week, and I've got great memories in that week, including, as I shared with others earlier, with Dr. Utgaard himself, because that was the year, 1962 was the year the dance was happening. They started having a weekly dance. Do you guys still have a weekly dance? Yeah. So it started in 62, so this is not even 10 years later. Dr. Utgaard was off at a fundraiser, I'm sure, gathering support to keep the camp going. We were having a great time. It was 9:05. The dance was supposed to end at 9 o'clock. I was enjoying the dance. He came in, flipped on the lights, turned off at that time the old turntable record player, and basically we were all sent to bed. And because we were 5 minutes past our bedtime, and I think there's some people in the room who can relate to that. But he was, precise and strong in his leadership. And throughout his lifetime, he served on numerous boards and commissions, the local, state, national, and international level, always promoting the education and the arts. And for his efforts and success, he became a well-respected leader in music education and received praise, a multitude of praise and recognition. At the heart of his vision was creating an opportunity for young performers like all of you, and that's why it's so special to be here tonight to make this announcement. To give a chance for each of you to grow, to develop your talents, and see what part music might play in your life. And from its founding in 1956, the camp grew. That first year, they had 113 students. Now, annually, more than 1,000 students attend here. More than 150 artist teachers today participate over the course of the summer. And the International Music Camp blossomed in an internationally renowned program, bringing visitors and recognition to North Dakota because of that vision of Dr. Merton Utgaard. Dr. Utgaard passed away in 1998 after a long life dedicated to his love for music, arts, and education. Part of that service that he had included serving the United States of America in the military during World War II from 1943 to 1945, and he remained in the reserves after that for another 18 years. So in addition to all this, he was a veteran, and we honor him for his service. His legacy lives on at the International Music Camp, and again, as I've said several times, but now you were part of the legacy of 140,000 musicians and performers. And so with that, it's a great honor tonight that I get to present an award to Dr. Utgaard. And I'm here to announce that the Theodore Roosevelt Rough Rider Award, which was established in 1961 by the Dakota Territory Centennial Commission, to recognize North Dakotans who have been influenced by our great state in achieving national recognition in their fields, and who through their accomplishments have brought pride and honor to North Dakota and our citizens. This award, which was created in 1961, has only been awarded 47 times. It's not an annual award. It only goes to those who have the merit. And with that, it is with great honor and great pleasure that tonight here, in front of all the students that he cared so deeply about, at this place that exists only because of he and Noella's vision and commitment, that I get to have the honor here in my life to present the Theodore Roosevelt Rough Rider Award to the award-winning musician, educator, founder, and longtime director of the International Music Camp, Dr. Merton Utgaard. Let's give it up for them. I've also got another special announcement, and I'm so honored. They've flown here from across the country. Dr. Utgaard and Noella had 3 beautiful children. Those children grew up going to the camp. Not 1 week, they were living here. I think they had to go to the camp every week, week after week. I think we have the 3 individuals, the 3 Utgaard children, probably attended more weeks of music camp than any other humans that are alive. But all 3 of them made it back here tonight. And I want to say again, thank you all for coming. And we'd like to invite Michael, Karen, and Mark, the 3 children, if you could, join us on stage if you're able. If not, we'll take whoever can come up here, but we've got the bust of Theodore Roosevelt that we'll present tonight. And then also as part of this award, there's a portrait that's made by a portrait We'll be working with the family to do that, and that portrait will hang in the Hall of Honor in the lower level of the Capitol back in Bismarck. So sometime when you get a chance, come back in about 6 months. We'll have the ceremony for hanging the portrait of Dr. Utgaard, and you can see a true piece of legacy of the International Music Camp, and maybe reflect in that portrait and see how you're part of that legacy. But with that, Utgaard children, if you could join me, I'm happy to deliver the bus tonight. So warm welcome for Michael, Karen, and Mark Utgaard.
So I'm old. We are extremely proud to accept this award on behalf of our father, Dr. Merton Utgaard. We would be honored and humbled to be counted among the recipients of the Rockrider Award. Our father loved North Dakota. He was born and raised here, and although his teaching career took him to many other states, he returned to North Dakota in the late 1950s and loved North Dakota. He loved music, teaching, and young people. With this being the place where he got his start in music, it was a logical place to start a music camp. He was a man of few words, but someone who made his voice heard through his love of music. He never stopped sharing his love of music with the citizens of North Dakota, the United States, Canada, and places around the world. We thank Governor Burgum and the Rockrider Committee for this amazing honor, and thank the Peace Gardens for the spark you gave Dad so he could make this dream come true. And thank you all for being here.